Should we just sit here and talk about whatever for the first 30 minutes and then actually talk about the game for the last 30? Because that's kind of what it felt like the Avs did in this game. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche post-game show presented by Bet365. We've got Biggie and Rudo coming to you live as the Avs lose to the St. Louis Blues 5-4. That scoreline does not reflect the actual play of this hockey game. In fact, I would argue most of the numbers do not reflect the actual play of this hockey game. I don't know, Eve. Was this game actually close, or was this comeback a mirage?
No, I don't think it was close. I think it just goes. It just shows you get what you put in. I mean that's pretty simple. I think it's not a cliche. It's a reality. I mean, you didn't really give a lot of care in the first 20, 40 minutes. They got outplayed to every puck, to every position, to every battle, to every power play. They converted. You didn't. I mean, again, it was not even close. That's why they've won 12 in a row now. And they wanted it more. And if you don't want it as much as the other team, it's tough to win in this league, especially if you're playing a team that's won 11 in a row. And that's on their toes, and this is their playoffs, and this is do or die the past month. And it just showed you. I mean, and then they kind of took the fight a foot off the gas. St. Louis, they were like, we don't really have an opponent tonight to play against us. I mean, they could do whatever they want. They could push you on. Nobody was breathing back at you. Nobody was even looking at them. Nobody wanted to engage. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, okay. And then they played that way, and that's why the Avs kind of came back a little bit. For me, and you got what you put in. You got what you deserve, and move on. I mean, like you said, are you worried? I know you're not worried. I'm not saying I'm worried. I just get so mad, and I get so crappy and in a bad mood when you get outworked. That's it. That's my thing. I'm not panicking. I'm saying it's the only thing you can control as a player. Because you know what? This is a great example tonight. It's the only thing you can control is how hard you work. That the coach doesn't want to put you out there, there's nothing you can do. That the referee makes a bad call, there's nothing you can do. That the goalie gives up a bad goal, there's nothing you can do. The only thing as an individual is how hard you work. You can control that. Tonight, they didn't really care about that.
No, certainly not for the first 30 minutes of this game. Reality. This game, the Avs did not really play very well at 5-on-5 when the game was within 2 goals. It's just the truth. Sure, when the game got out of hand and they were down 4-0 and St. Louis basically packed it in, the Avs mounted a comeback. And I think there are a couple of guys who worked hard and deserved credit, and we'll get to that. But the reality is there was not a whole lot here. And again, I told you guys the numbers are deceiving. Yes, the Avs did technically put, 39 shots on goal in this game. They put 12 on net at 5-on-5 in the first 2 periods.
Yeah, because you got to work at 5-on-5, right? So they didn't want to work.
And they put a bunch of shots on the power play, which, cool. They also lost the power play battle 2-0. So their special teams didn't work, even if they shot the puck more. And at 5-on-5, there just wasn't enough there. This is not some overarching, I'm mad, I'm worried about the Avs, them playing like they obviously have no interest in putting in 100% effort right now. That's just the truth. In the moment, in the game, it sucks. If you're an Avs fan who went to St. Louis and paid for a ticket to this game, I'd be genuinely upset because you got scammed. But as far as big picture,
Yeah.
who cares?
No, I agree with you. I just get angry, but to their defense, uh, 3 and 4, I tell you all the time, you don't have the energy. It's
Sure. Look,
tough. I mean, it's a fact, and I know the whole league. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but when things don't go your way, then it's like, oh, it's tough. But not only did things didn't go their way, they didn't want it to go their way because they didn't do anything about it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's some good things, absolutely. There's some good things, and we'll talk about them. But you know, kudos to whatever they're called, the Blues, because they were the hungrier team, and good for them. They've won 12 in a row. Must do something,
yeah,
right?
awesome. They certainly deserved the win tonight. I have no qualms with that. They outplayed the Avs when it mattered. Things got close because the Blues did pack it in a little bit, but ultimately they get it across the finish line. Um, I mean, let's just start with the first period here. And
Sure.
the two main things I want to talk about here are, you kind of alluded to one of them there. Look, it is a 3-4. There are some things that did not go the Avs' way tonight, but I don't really believe in karma. I do believe to some extent you make your own luck. When Devon Taves takes a high stick to the face that goes uncalled, and you watch the way the Avs played, it's like, okay, yeah, the refs missed that call for sure, and it's stupid, and I hate it. But also, the only reason that opportunity happened is because you were getting outpossessed, outcontrolled in the game anyway. If you play a better hockey game, if the Blues aren't spending time in your zone, then if that call gets missed, it's a nothing play. It's not a continued offensive zone possession. The Avs set themselves up for failure, and the bounces or bad luck situations buried them.
Yeah, and again, we were pretty. If you were with us on the watch along, we were pretty opinionated on the refereeing the first period. Like I was. I mean, for me, listen, it's an atrocious call 30 seconds in or whatever it was. They scored 30 seconds in, I think, or whatever it was. But
it was like 5 minutes for that one. Oh, you
no,
mean the
no,
Kivy call?
the first
yeah,
minute.
yeah, sure.
I mean, that's give it a cat. Meow. Won't hurt a mouse, And it's a soft call. But I'm not blaming the referee. I'm saying, but then the Avs weren't ready for the challenge. You know what I mean? Like so it's not like, okay, great, let's get ourselves into the game. We got a PK. No, they were like, oh god, and then they're all there but not there, and then Blackwood doesn't really push, and it gets. I mean, it's like, oh, we're down one, and again, as you know, it's a no-no. 30 seconds in, now you're starting the game sideways. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not. That's what again in the playoffs. Do I agree with that? If it's a bad call, it's a bad call. That's what I was saying earlier. You can't control bad calls. You can't control it. That you can't do. But what you can control is your effort, how you respond to that. And again, I'm not worried about it. I'm like you. I believe in what you're saying more than you believe it more than I do. But then if that's the playoffs next week, then they'll respond with a big PK and a big save, and you know what I mean, like maybe. But tonight they didn't. So
Oh.
then you're chasing the game, and then you're chasing the game, and then it's like, okay, you know what I mean. And then the second one is like Ryan's saying, it's a gift, but that's life. You can't control that. But you can't control like puck hitting a ref. You can't control a ref bad call. You can't control. What you can control is what you do next. You know what I mean? So
Yep, exactly.
they just didn't have that mentality tonight. And will they have it in the playoffs? I agree with you, probably. But nonetheless, tonight in a game like this, that's what's kind of frustrating for me. That's again, I'm not panicking.
Yeah.
It's not red flag. It's just like there's a reason you lost the game, right? Those are the reasons.
Yep. It's frustrating because it's not difficult to see that the Avs are better than this. Like, even if you believe, oh, this is bad and it's creating bad habits for the Avs and all of that, there is very clearly the ability for the Avs to play better than they did, certainly in the first 30 minutes of this game. Regardless of bad luck or bad bounces or whatever, you cannot earnestly watch the way the Avs top players played for the majority of this game and tell me they were giving it their best. And again, million reasons for it. They're tired, bad bounces. Yeah. They're in their heads about whatever. Fine, but definitely a disappointing effort from the Avs top guys in this game. And you know, whatever. I'm sure they'll tell you, hey, you make decisions in life, right? If you're going to play half-assed in this game because that means it'll give you that extra 2% in the playoffs when it matters, great. But living in the moment of it does not feel very good.
Oh, and again, you can't lie to yourself, right? They're not going to lie to themselves either. Yeah. They know it. They'll get on the bird tonight. If you think you really gave an all-out effort, then you should, honestly go see somebody to really tell you what's going on, because you're lying to yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can't lie to yourself. But they know, and as a player, just, man, I don't have it. If you think Nathan MacKinnon thinks he had it tonight, don't worry. He'd be the first guy to tell you I didn't have it. He's not that dumb. Like, it's not. And again, sometimes you're trying, it's just not working, and then everything goes south, and you're just, but again, that doesn't make it okay. Marty Party not there, Joe Druenreich not there, but they scored, 4 and 7, 11 goals in 2 games with those guys not there. You know what I mean? Like, so yep. At the end of the day, I'm not worried about the production. I'm not worried about some breakdowns. You're going to have breakdowns. This is a team that's won 12 in a row. Last I checked, they had 18 shots on net with 5 minutes to go in the game. So, you didn't give up that much. Your goalie just didn't make sense. I'm not blaming before chat blows up. I love Mackenzie Blackwood. I'm not blaming McKenzie, but if you think Mackenzie Blackwood played good tonight, then again, you should look in the mirror too and have a conversation with yourself. He wasn't good. He had a 700 save percentage by the end of the second period. I understand breakdowns. I understand that, but your job's to make saves here and there. He wasn't intense. He wasn't on top of his crease. He's deep in his crease. He'll tell you. He's not going to lie to you. He's not going to be like, I was great. No. And again, I'm not blaming him. But the Avalanche were lackluster. They were soft. They didn't want to play. They made dumb decisions. They gave up first-minute goal in the first period, first-minute goal in the second period. Those are things will kill you. Coaches will tell you that will kill you. So everything they did was wrong. You know what I mean? Like from goaltending, to the PK to. You got that goal there, the fourth goal. You had Charlie and Coyle, not Charlie Lindgren, and Ryan Lindgren. Both are excellent penalty killers, but they're caught in between. They're both looking. They're both like, I don't know. I'm there, but I'm not there. And that's how kind of how it works, right? So when you're too little, too late, when your effort's not there, it's just not there. And the Avs, you can't lie to yourself. They didn't have it, And then I think when they had it, the score effects, and it was more St. Louis kind of laying off the gas pedal.
It was almost entire. This whole game was almost entirely score effects for the Avs. If we're being honest about it, but
absolutely.
It's a phrase you use a lot. It starts at the top. The Avs top 6 has holes in it. There's no Natchez. There's no Drouin. There are reasons for it, but when you're looking at the top of the Avs lineup, that is what you're asking for more out of in this game. Yes, Nathan MacKinnon scores a late goal, but if Nathan MacKinnon is engaged in putting pucks on net in the first 2 periods before this is a 4-0 game, it's an entirely different world that the Avs are living in. Instead, it ends up being a goal and a too little, too late comeback push. Frankly, the lack of engagement comes a lot more from the Avs top end than it does their bottom end tonight. Some of that is lack of engagement. I think guys like MacKinnon, guys like Taves lack some engagement tonight. Some of that is also a bit of snake bitness. Lecky's not finishing well. Val did not finish well tonight either. So there's a mix of issues there. And I would be more worried if these problems were harder to fix. I'll put it to you that way. The problems the Avs had in this hockey games are the easiest thing in the world to fix. You don't have to sit down and change the way you're looking at the game. You don't need to go through video footage. You go to the guys and say, try.
Thank you. I was gonna say it's so easy. It's an easy one because you look at the first period, you can find 25 clips of like, hey, look, second on the puck. Hey, look, lost battle. Hey, look, not moving your feet. Hey, look, there but not there. Hey, look,
Yeah.
all battle in front of the net. Hey, look. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not hard. And that's when it's easy to fix. It's not a lack of talent. It's not a lack of not knowing how to play. It's not a lack of finish. It's a lack of. I mean, God, I'm gonna say it. I don't care if I catch flack, but them clinching yesterday. Oh, they clinched, right? It was yesterday. Then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
gotta hate that. You clinched before. We all know, but I understand. But then it's like, oh, and then you burst your bubble. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, they've been fighting all year. Hey, it could have been a disastrous year. It could have been a disastrous year. Don't kid yourself. It was a tough sledding from the start. We talked about it all summer. Who knows how these 20 games are going to go? Lecky, Val, Lecky, yeah. Val situation, game situation to start. Remember, everyone was like, on pins and needles. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to evaluate after 20 games. Goaltending absolutely collapses. So yeah, it's a feast. It's a feat that they made the playoffs. I mean, I never lost faith because you got McCarr, you got McKinnon, some of them. But man, you gotta get there. And I think yesterday was more like, oh, we got there, and it's like, okay, well, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But am I worried about it? No, I think you're my comfort zone because you seem to really, again, my story. It's because again we did it in '98. Oh boy, we were so inconsistent. And I remember the guys that had won cups, the Keens, the Was, and guys, if you think you can turn it on, we want, and then we didn't, and it
Yeah.
bit us. That's why I'm a little gun shy. But do I believe in what you're saying? And the 2022, yes, absolutely. But nonetheless, when you're talking about games like this, it's easy because you said it. It's an easy fix. Go
You
work.
don't need
It's
to.
not hard.
I'm usually the guy who loves to analyze deep and look at all the numbers. You don't need any of
Go
that for this
work.
game. Yeah, you just don't need it. What we do need to do is take a quick break to pay a few bills, though. So let's jump over to that. Look, I could have sat here and ranted and popped off on the refs again. I think I would have been justified if had I done that with the refing that we got tonight. But instead, I'm choosing chill. Make sure you choose chill too with Coors Light. Go get yourself a nice, refreshing, cold Coors Light. The mountains turn blue on the bottle or the can to let you know that it's ice cold and ready to drink. They are available pretty much everywhere. You can go to your local liquor store if you want to get one that way, but you can also get it delivered right to your front door thanks to Instacart over at CoorsLight.com/DNVR. You don't even have to get up off your couch to go get Coors Light and choose chill today. Whether you're out there barbecuing, which it's kind of snowy and cold here, so maybe not barbecue. Maybe you're staying inside, trying to stay warm and drink a beer or two to enjoy your evening on a nice little Saturday in, even if the Avs were frustrating. It's the easy way. Coors Light, you enjoy yourself, even if the game's silly, dumb, bad. At least the comeback was fun. You can enjoy that with an ice cold Coors Light. Again, go get yourself over to CoorsLight.com/DNVR to get it delivered right to your front door. Thanks to Instacart. They are a local Colorado company too. So go snag yourself some. Of course, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Please drink responsibly. And once you've had a nice cold Coors Light, make sure you're also having a little bit of fun. Look, I bet all OV scores on the Islanders Sunday. All right. Bet it all. Go over to Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. You put in $10 and bet $5 on anything. Win or lose, you get $150 in bonus bets. So go have fun with that. $150 to just mess around with. Only costs you $10. Maybe you win some and you end up a ton of money. And if you lose some, then it was free money anyway. So all good on that front. Again, jump in with Bet365. Of course, they're amazing. Highly recommend if you haven't gotten in with them yet. You don't have to bet on hockey either. If basketball is your thing, or soccer, or any other sport, to be honest, Bet365 has you fully covered there. Again, use the DNVR365 code. And of course, when you do gamble with them, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Let's talk about this. 0 for
Yes.
3 on the power play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They did have a number of shots on goal, but they ultimately did not break through. And bad process when the lack of effort is there is clear. 5-on-5, whatever. You didn't play good, you lost. Fine. Avs power play over the last 5 games, just 8%. It's cut back down quite a bit. We've seen the Lecky dry spell happen. Some of this Natchez is out, Druin is out, sure. Do you believe the Avs are doing the right things to win the special teams battles, or do you believe they can get back to doing the right things, or is there maybe a bigger underlying problem here?
I don't think it's a bigger underlying problem. I think it's all a matter of effort. And I think if you look at the last few games, they've gotten away with stuff. They played a bad team in Chicago and were able to come back. They just, you know my expression, got to raise your heart rate like you do. And when you go on the power play, I don't care if you're that talented. I don't care if you're better or you're the leading scorer in the league. If your thought process is not that I'm going to be the hardest working guy there, you're in trouble because it's an advantage. There's 5 of you, 4 of them. It's not hard to figure it out. So you should pounce on every part. You should come up with every part. You should win every battle. You should do the little things. But the Avalanche, and I'll say it again, when they shoot the puck, they are a productive power play. When they try right away with that freaking pass there, they're not. And that cross-ice pass, they're not. It is there. Once you've brought the puck up top and shot and made them stretch their box out or their diamond or whatever it is, and you have the greatest guy on top, Kill McCarr, to get pucks through. It's not that hard. You can't be cute. Cute doesn't make you win. You know what I mean? You got to win in the playoffs by being dirty and by being dirty on the power play and hard work and lunch pail, and then you make plays because you're the best player in the world. But yeah, the effort wasn't there on the power play. You miss a couple opportunities, couple empty netters because you were just kind of lackadaisical a little bit. So yeah, it makes a difference, and I think it starts there. And we talked about it. We like to give the praises to the best players in the world and everything because they're awesome. But you can't lie to yourself tonight and say that they were good. And it starts with usually them, which are on the power play. So it goes hand in hand. And, those are missed opportunities. Again, are they out of gas? Maybe. Like I said, 3 and 4 is tough. Is tough. So those are tough assignments that these guys play.
Here's the thing. The one thing I will disagree with you on, the Avs power play did shoot a lot. In their 3 power play attempts, they had 12 shots on goal. There were shots coming in. If you want to have a conversation about the quality of those shots, fair enough. But my bigger problem is, what did it accomplish? Okay, you get a ton of shots on goal on the power play. Even if you believed you played well in those power plays and Binnington just played well in net, it stopped all the shots. What did it generate for you? Because the second every one of those power plays ended for the Avs, they went right back to doing nothing at 5-on-5. Yeah. It didn't generate any momentum. It didn't generate any energy for them. So even if you feel like the Avs had good power plays process-wise, that process stopped the second the power play ended. And realistically, in a game where you're down 2-0 5 minutes in, you cannot miss on your power play opportunities, especially when you're giving them away.
And Elliott talks about it lackadaisical. For me, yeah, the power play had some shots, like you said. Sure, if you look on stats, but it was lackadaisical. Like, it was not like, oh my God, it's a matter of time. It was more shots from the outside, shot from the side, shot, whatever. And Binnington, give him credit, he did make 4 or 5 saves. He did. Where Mackenzie didn't really make. Oh, besides the one where he laid on his belly there early on, remember? Those were a couple good saves. I mean, other than that, their goalie made saves. Yours didn't really make saves, so it's tough. But your power play it doesn't get paid to say, oh yeah, it was fine. You know what I mean? It gets paid to produce, right? You got to produce. That it's just what it comes down to. The Blues, that's how you go 12 in a row. We all know the Avalanche when they were hot last week, whatever it was. Their power play, boom, first minute of the game, it would have stopped. It would have, whoop. If the other team's going to give you, I mean, all right, I shouldn't say that. If the referee's going to give you a freebie 30 seconds in, take advantage of it. St. Louis did. You know what I mean? And that's it. The execution was there. The shot was there. It is what it is. And then you're trailing now 1-0.
Yep.
And when your power play is not putting you back in and the effort's not there, it's a long night. And that's what you saw.
I do want to give some credit, some of the positives for the Avs tonight. This game was 4-0 halfway through. The Avs easily could have said, all right, this game's over. We don't care. We're just going to finish out the game cruising. And I do think some players on the Avs did. But there were enough Avs players that said, you know what? St. Louis is sitting back. We can step up. We can take advantage. We can turn this into a hockey game. And they did to some extent. Credit where credit is due for someone like Ross Colton. He gets the goal. Awesome. Great. I'm happy for that. What I'm more interested in Ross Colton from this game, E, is what you talk about all the time. Show you're interested in the game. Do something. Ross Colton, I wouldn't say he runs Jordan Binnington, but he definitely runs into him. You know?
Sure. I told you I liked it.
Yeah, he's trying to get the Avs going. And what the Avs kill that penalty, he gets out of the box and they score a goal immediately. Math adds up on that front. Credit to the Avs third line. The lines were jumbled.
Whatever you want to call them. Yeah.
Kivy, Coyle, and Wood score the Avs second goal late in the second period. The game went from being completely over to it's not likely the Avs win, but you're down 2 going into the third because your depth guys stepped up and said, you know what? We're still a good hockey team. We can still play hockey. We can still get ourselves into this game. And they did. And I think those guys deserve a lot of credit for having the right mentality.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And look no further than the Blues. Like, okay, Holloway's out. So you're talking about like Nature's drawing. He's there, Nature's drawing, right? He's there, he's there, that type of player for them this year. He's been awesome. He's been outstanding. He's that kind of level of category. But other guys, Neighbors, Balduke, they played the game with passion. They played the game with recklessness a little bit. And again, this Balduke, I'll give him his props. He's been really good against the Avs those last couple of games. But he's freaking skating out there like he can do whatever he wants, and no one went near him because that's why. And it's not about fighting, that. It's about having the same level of emotions, having the same level of passion. It just wasn't there. Forget about everything else on power play and PK and goaltending. Like their level of passion was not there compared to the blue jerseys. You know what I mean? Like the white jerseys were always behind. The white jerseys were always a step behind. The white jerseys were always chasing, where the other ones were controlling, dominating, dictating, and that's not the Avalanche. 3 and 4 has a lot to do with it. I'm convinced of it. Sure. Circumstances has a lot to do with it. You're convinced. You know what I mean, of where they are and all that stuff. So, but yeah, like Jordan says, credit the Blues. 12 in a row is a big accomplishment. Absolutely. Those guys were dead. Those guys were dead in the water. Now Vancouver is like, are you kidding me? Calgary's like, are you kidding me? Minnesota's like, oh my God, this is like, whoa, we're hanging by a thread. We all know they lost all their top guys, Minnesota, but give credit to the Blues. You can see why. We saw it last week in Denver. We saw it tonight. They're playing with passion. They're playing with belief, and they're playing with like house money, so to speak, because they were dead. They were not supposed to be there.
Look, I think a lot of things have been going their way lately, but you only get to take advantage of things going your way if you're doing the right things and playing the right way. And the Blues are doing that. Do I believe the Blues are about to go on a playoff run? No. But maybe they win 30 games in a row and win it all without ever losing again. Maybe. What do I know? I don't think I see that happening, especially because they allowed the Avs to make this game even close, quite frankly. The Avs, was this even a B- game for this? Probably a C from the Avs, if that. Like,
for me, it's
not a quality game.
No.
F- in East Book right now.
I didn't hear.
I'm sure. Don't need to hear him to know what he's about to say about this one, man. I was asking how many times he was going to say the word passenger in the middle of the third period.
Oh, he had a few passengers. Oh, we all know that. And we all know he brought it up, but I don't know if he brought it up on his presser, but internally he brought it up 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
And probably sarcastic because he's not going to bury them. They won the road trip, 2 out of 3, right? They won the road trip. There's a lot of positives. the bottom of the lineup guys, like you said, there's Malinsky, could have had a couple goals, right? They got one
Yeah.
with a tiny offside, and meaningless at the end of the game. But so what? It doesn't matter. He still beat a goalie. There's a lot of positives. Miles is starting to get it a little bit, right? He's starting to
Mhm.
jump up a little bit. But yeah,
I mean, that's look. I don't think he's done enough to earn himself a starting lineup spot game one, especially if we're having conversations about Landeskog come back. But Miles has pretty clearly secured himself as the first guy to step into the lineup at this point, right? He's outplayed Jimmy Vesey significantly.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you mean Wood, Miles?
Did I not say Miles? Yeah, I meant Miles. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, no, sorry, but I wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah, I mean, and again, Jimmy's doing what the best he can. It's a tough slab when you're coming into a new team and you're not getting a lot of opportunities. But he's a veteran and he's been around. And I think if you nitpick his game, he knows where he's going. He knows he's smart, and I think Betsy knows that too, right? You know what I mean? So I think he's going to have his role at some point, just like I think Miles will have his role at some point. But again, with the injuries. Who knows? The only other injury if I can go off track for a second, and
Yeah.
I'm not too sure
Well,
because maybe I'm having a blank. It's
let
Sammy.
you think about it, and I'll pay some bills while you
Yeah.
think about where
Okay.
that
Go. Yeah.
is. So we'll jump over and do that. As one of our sponsors today is Empire Today. Avs did not build a good floor to this game. If anything, they built a pit that they had to try and climb out of. So don't do that. Instead, go get quality flooring from Empire Today. They're your best bet for a new floor. You can jump in with their flooring experts. They bring the showroom right into your home. It's that easy. You can pick the right floor and the right colors for your space because you're actually in the right space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house today. Make sure you call to get a free in-home estimate with Empire Today. They have precise measuring. You can do it all from your own home. Even if before you get an in-home estimate, you can do it online to check out some of the basics. Plus, you can get a $350 discount when you use promo code DNVR over at empiretoday.com/DNVR. Go check it out. Go get that $350 off with code DNVR. Of course, restrictions do apply. Visit empiretoday.com/DNVR for full details. Once you've built a good floor, once you're feeling confident on the ground you're standing on, then you can leave it to go check out a hockey game in person. Playoffs are coming, man. And the playoffs are going to be fun. The Avs ain't going to play like that for half of a playoff game. They're going to play all the
No.
way out. They're going full bore in the playoffs. So go get with Game Time. Go get your tickets. You get $20 off your first purchase at Game Time with code DNVR. And make sure you're using their Game Time Picks feature to get the best seats for the best prices based on your search parameters. They'll filter out all the junk, and you'll find the seats you want for the best price. Jump in with them. Of course, terms and conditions apply with Game Time, but join over 15 million people that use Game Time to get their tickets, and not just for sports, too. Concerts, theaters, movies, and more. What time is it? It's game time, baby. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's up with Gerard. Bednar didn't really give an update on him. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, I'm trying to remember how he. I mean, obviously, I know he missed like a few weeks ago. Remember, and he came back. And
Yeah.
is this related to that, or is this something new? Didn't really see anything that game that a few games ago. Remember, it's just the next day. It was like, oh, Gerard's out, and then you're like, oh, I didn't really see anything, right?
Yep, same.
I'll say it again. When Sammy's not in the lineup, you notice it. You know what I mean? I don't care what people say. When Sam Gerard's not in the lineup, you notice it. And
True.
he plays hard minutes. He plays a lot of heavy minutes. He plays hard minutes. And I'll tell you one thing. I just I want him back. I miss my guy. I
I
do. And that's one guy I got him. When he's out of the line, I'm uncomfortable when he's out of the lineup.
To fold that into what happened in tonight's game, and this is somewhat true of Manson as well. It's been less true this year, but certainly in previous years. When you look at the game that Devon Taves had tonight, which was rough, Devon Taves really, really struggled tonight. Part of that is maybe because he kept getting hit in the face, but he did struggle. If you have a Sam Girard in your lineup, you can cut some of those minutes away from Taves. Give a few more to Sam. You can limit the guy struggling.
Yeah.
There was none. The Avs didn't have an option to limit the struggling Devon Taves tonight. He just had to go out there, figure it out, and play through it. And that's because of no Sam Girard. That's because of no Josh Manson in their lineup. It's just kind of the reality that you're living in when those guys are missing from the Avs. So you still need Devon Taves to play better too, but you just don't have the backup option right now for Colorado. So it's a good point.
Yeah, and again, I'm leaving Dave, that's his dad, Josh alone. You know what I mean? Because he's missed significant time again. I mean, this year, right? I mean, it seems like he's been gone, and but like I always say, you take those two out, that's basically your second pairing, right? And
Yep.
I know Josh hasn't had the best, but it does. Again, they're heavy minutes. We've talked about that. You're jamming Malinsky in there all year long, let's say, with those minutes. Oof, it could be tough on the guy because you're really not. You're throwing him to the wolves, right? And you're not like protecting him in the lineup. When you hear that, protecting him in the lineup of the coaching staff, right? Because you give the right guy the third pair minutes. You give him the different kinds of assignments, not against a top six or middle six forwards, right? You play against fourth liners, but you know, I just when you're missing Sammy and you're missing Josh, it makes a big difference. You know what I mean? I think up front there it's not as bad because of all the depth they added, so they can figure it out. You know what I mean, and all that kind of stuff. But I think on the back end when you're pulling Sammy and you're pulling Josh, I mean you're really noticing it a little bit. You know what I mean? Nothing against EJ, nothing against Middleton, nothing. As you guys know, I love EJ. That's not the point. But then you're playing Sam out of position. You're playing, not position, but out of order. You know, Sam Malinsky. So yeah, that's the one part that I just I'm just a little uneasy. I want to see my guy SammyG back. You know what I mean? I got a soft spot for him. We know that, but I do believe he's a valuable part of this team. So I just want this guy back.
I don't know how deep I want to get into this conversation, but I do think it's one we should at least talk about. 2 games in a row where you don't love Mackenzie Blackwood. Now, in the Columbus game, he fought through it. He battled through. The Avs ran away with it. Awesome. Tonight, yeah, the defense in front of him was really bad at times. If I can throw one number at you, and I know XG isn't the end all be all of the planet, but at all situations, the Blues only produced 2.67 expected goals, and that includes the empty net at the end. So with the goalie in net, the Blues really only produced about 2 expected goals. 4 get by Blackwood.
Yeah, again, I love Mackenzie. I wanted to go get him because I said this is the guy that they need. I think he's one of the main reasons why the Avs turned their season around. Absolutely. And again, Chris making the move and the staff, right? But Mackenzie's been great. But you can't lie to yourself. He hasn't been great lately. And it's just not numbers. I'd have to go back and look at one of those games where I think they gave up one or whatever, and I was like, it's not. It's just sometimes you can look at a goalie, you can tell something's bothering him, just by their demeanor, just by the way they push, by the way they challenge shooters, by the way they are on top of the crease, by the way they move post to post, and by the way they engage in the game. There's a little something, a little off, maybe I don't know. And again, I love them, but you can't say today that and again, we always go back to the Georgiev days at the start of the season where we used to have arguments with chat. Like, you will have breakdowns. But like Rudo just said, numbers don't lie. I mean, they didn't give up a lot. The Avalanche did not give up a lot. And Mackenzie had a 700 towards the end of the second period. That's not good enough. And he'll be the first one to tell you. And I'm not losing faith in him. I'm saying, but yeah, he was like the rest of the Avalanche. The interest factor was the heart, was not at where it's supposed to be, right? And that's why, for me, he struggled tonight. We'll see. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about him. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about him. And I'm not saying I think Jordan's talking. I love Mackenzie Blackwood. He for me one of the MVPs of the Avalanche this year. 100% turning that season around. He is. I love him. Like Jordan says this year. It's again absolutely. But like tonight, you can't say in those 2 periods he was good. Like you can't say that. he was, he's like the rest of the team. He was blah, right? I mean, it was blah. You can't say he was overworked. You can't say he was, oh my God, but I like him, and he's gonna be fine. He just needs to, he just needs to work through it right now. He needs to work through
I,
his game, and he will. He's gonna be fine.
I, I think it's just one of those games where you hope Blackwood would pick the team up a little bit in this one, right? Because you look at the other night, the team picked him up.
Yeah,
They put 7 in on Columbus when he started off a little bit
yeah,
shaky. We've seen a lot of the Avs. It's worked a lot over this stretch where the Avs have had their ridiculously good record that they've had over the last 16, 17 games. Um,
mm-hmm.
where on a night where the Stars pick up the depth, if the Stars aren't going on a night, you see the depth pick up some of that production. The defense can step up on certain nights to allow very few shots. You were hoping for the goalie to be the guy that steps up and kind of fills the void for the Avs tonight, and you didn't really get that. Again, not the end of the world. It's not something I want to be overly critical of because I think Blackwood will be fine, and I think the Avs are just fine. You were just hoping for a bailout that you didn't really get. So
Yeah, and you all got to do your job, and you all know that. And you all got to analyze where you're at as a team. You have to analyze where you're at as an individual. You have to analyze where you fit on this team. Goaltending's great here. Wedgwood, Blackwood, been outstanding. Great
yep.
1-2 punch. I believe in the woodpile, Enrique. Absolutely, buddy. You know what I mean? Absolutely believe in the woodpile. It doesn't get any better than that. But I think he's got to go home and sleep, and just like some guys, just get their energy back, and you know what I mean, and feel good about their game where it's at. And we all know, again, it's a little bit of a letdown because they all know that where they're at on the standings, and they all know you want to just get to the playoffs. You know what I mean, and that's unfortunately, it is what it is. But Chango's not wrong. He's got to find his game. It's not like he's lost his game. It's just right now he's a little uncomfortable in different situations. Whatever it is, I'm not sure. But he certainly wanted to work on something a couple days ago because Bednar said it. Remember, he kind of slipped on his press conference. He just said, "Yeah, it gives us the opportunity for him to work on a couple things. He kind of work, something like that, right? You know what I mean? About it was kind of weird that Wedgwood played the Calgary game, whatever it was, where you thought."
Yeah.
Whatever. You would play that one, and Wedgwood would have played the Chicago game. It ended up, anyway, I don't remember what it was, but it was kind of weird. And Wedgwood ended up playing 2 out of 3. And it was like, oh, Mackenzie can work on a couple things, So, again, we'll see.
It's uh, is this a motivating factor, E? When you play a game like this, does Colorado look around that locker room and tell themselves, hey, we're better than this. We need to go out and be better than this? Or should we be steeling ourselves for some more cruise control games for the last 4 of the season here as the Avs are just trying to limp it into the playoffs a little bit?
Yeah, maybe, maybe. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I mean, I just hate it. You know what I mean? Like, I hate when there's no effort, man. When I say no effort, there were some effort. I'm talking about overall. How about that? I'm going to use the word passenger. I hate it when there's a few passengers. I like it when there's no, passengers. Everybody's full throttle. You know what I mean? So hopefully we don't get to see much of that. You know what I mean? Like, but man, oh man, like finish strong, finish good. You've taken a little bit of a cruise control there the last, 5, 6 games. It's a little bit on cruise control effect. You know what I mean? You haven't really played a lot of 60-minute efforts. And, what I mean? It's kind of been like,
Yeah,
taking a break here, taking a break there. This is not working. This is working. So it's kind of been ugly a little bit. But like you said, you're not worried about it, then I'm not worried.
Is the real victory tonight that the Avs had nobody injured other than Devontae's face a little bit uglier, but he's fine?
Yeah, I mean, it's whenever you lose it, it's like, oh, thank God, I just lost 2 teeth.
Not so
How
bad.
crazy is that?
Could have been an
Oh,
eye.
he don't have to miss a shift. Oh, stitches. God, shoot, you might need to miss a few shifts. Because it takes a little bit to get stitched up. But it's funny. Like it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think some guys played that way. It looked like that's what it was. Just playing not on your toes, on your heels, because you're like, yeah, what's up, buddy? It's a little friendly. You know what I mean? Like, don't want to get engaged and don't want to get hurt. But we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, it's hard to win that way though. So if they play like that next week, again, I don't even know where Vegas is in the standings right now. I mean, I know they're there, but I mean, can they move in the standings? I don't even know. Maybe we can look at it. I'll look at it in a second, but then that maybe it's two teams that don't want to play. Then it's like okay, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But there's only what 4 games left.
4. There are 4 games left in the regular season.
So, you know.
Yeah, at least for the Avs. Some teams have up to 6, but for the Avs, there are only 4. It's
Vegas.
I mean, look, even with the loss to St. Louis today, the Avs have a 5-point lead on St. Louis for the 3 seed. So, with 4 games left in the season, if the Avs win 2 of them, they lock in the 3 seed, and that's St. Louis would have to win out to really even
run the table. Yeah.
So,
hey,
is it possible
the season 17-0? Give it to them.
Yeah, sure. I mean? Like, whatever.
Holy crap, 17-0. That's a run. Power to them. It's possible.
I've long been a guy who you have to go through 4 teams in the playoffs anyway. So, play who you're going to play, go win.
Yeah, exactly.
I did want to ask this question. What is a more frustrating loss? This one, where it feels like the Avs just, the first 30 minutes, the effort wasn't there. They never really got their engine started. They come up short because of that. Or the Calgary loss a handful of games ago, where the Avs got out to a 2-goal lead. They were in complete control of the game, and then they shut it down and allowed Calgary back in.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Probably the Calgary one, because it's like, really, like you just decided to go to sleep and make a couple dumb plays, and I mean, let the other team outwork you. Tonight it was from drop of the puck.
Yeah,
I gave up the drop of the puck. I told you I was frustrated. If you were with us on the watch along, like I was like, are you kidding me? Like it just kills me. Anyway, it just I mean, I would say the Calgary end to answer your question.
Reasonably, I think you can look at tonight's game and say the Avs had a bad night. We've already broken down why we think that is. Bad nights happen in the NHL. You move on. Like that to me is marginally I'm more okay with than a game that you should have won, but you fell asleep for 5 minutes and lost.
And again, I've been telling you for a couple seasons now. 3 and 4, buddy. I used to dread it. I used to be like, oh my God. And again, I didn't play 25 minutes a night. But boy, oh boy. You know what I mean? It's just tough. 3 and 4 is tough. And 3 different, time zones. Was it 3 different time zones they went? Chicago.
3 different states. I don't know about different time zones.
Well, they did.
Is Ohio East or Central? I don't know.
No, East. The same time as the East. So they went, Chicago, Ohio, and then St. Louis. It was just back to the 1 hour. I mean, I'm telling you, your body just kind of, it's like it goes everywhere. So again, that was a tough one. But we'll see. And I think Jamie was talking about St. Louis plays Winnipeg and Dallas, and as you know, most of those teams aren't really moving. With both teams losing today. Both teams aren't. I don't think you're moving in the Central right now. I mean, I think it's Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, and St. Louis. So I don't think it's really changing. So
yeah.
So their games might not even have full throttle either. You know what I mean? So, like again, Dallas has been on the nice heater, and then all of a sudden tonight they blow it against Pittsburgh, right? So
yeah, it's stuff happens. Does this game suck? Does everything about it make me want to pull my hair out and go crazy? Yes. Do I think it is meaningful in the big picture at all for the Avs playoffs? No. That's all there is to that one. Did the Avs just stay up late last night trying to watch Ovi get the big goal? Is that what happened here?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was watching. I think everybody was
I
watching. A
was
lot of
watching.
people were
Yeah.
watching. Yeah. I mean, my little guy's he's with his grandma right now, and he was texting me. He's like, "Oh my god, he tied it!" You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm like, I know I'm watching. You know what I mean? But it's yeah, I think it's awesome. I think um, Ovi, like, I don't think he's a very emotional guy. Sensitive guy. But you could tell. I don't know if you saw the speech after the game in the locker room. You could tell he was getting a little emotional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when they give you the game puck or whatever.
Yeah.
It was more like it's kind of fun to see that guys are humans, and you imagine the pressure he's been on. Remember, you asked me this year, is he going to do it? I'm like, no chance, buddy. Not doing that this year. He'll break it, but not this year. And then all of a sudden he misses a month, whatever it was, and you're like,
5 weeks.
that's too
Yep.
bad. That's too bad. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like, what? Like, what do you mean? And then that's how confident he is. How many games they got left? 5? It's
5?
like
I think
something
5.
like that, right?
Yeah.
5, but it's like, hey, do you want the empty netter? Nah, let's wait.
I'll get it legit.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you can go. Again, I'm not trying to jinx them. I'm saying, but you've gone a few games like that without scoring. Imagine you have to wait till next year. And then you got Gretz over there yesterday, and then everybody's there, and Gary and Mr. Bettman and everyone. You know what I mean? It's nuts, man. Like, everybody's following you. You imagine the pressure you're under, and everyone's watching you, your every move, but it's fun. It's great for hockey. It's a great storyline. I mean, wow. I mean, this is, it's pretty fun to watch. It's history, right? So I never thought it'd be broken. Okay, I'll say it now. His points total, it will never be broken. I can tell you.
No, never. Never. I don't know that anyone will ever even get close to his point total unless the league changes drastically.
Yep. It was fun to watch, So yeah, you're right. Jordan's talking about how Ovechkin. It's funny how he's gone from whacking Fleury over the years and warm up and try to get in his kitchen to now getting his whole team to come and hug him at center ice, and it's sportsmanships, right? Gamesmanship, sportsmanship. It's pretty awesome. So
look,
yeah,
when you get that,
Jordan, I agree.
When you get older, you stop messing around with all that stuff. All right, you get too old for it, and you're like, all right, let's just shake hands. Let's be cool. Everybody, be cool.
Yeah, but you're talking about back then the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Capitals. Like, how fun was that? Ovi, Crosby, and all those guys, all the players from the Caps, all the players from the the Flurries of the world. So I thought it was cool. It was so cool of Ovechkin to do that. Jordan's right. It was fun. I mean,
what Ovi's
the guy loves pizza and Diet Coke. What, pizza and Diet Coke? He loves it.
And maybe only NHLer with more gray hair than Brock Nelson.
Oh, it's funny. I mean, Ovi's like, what, 60 and Brock is 72. So whatever. It's close.
Close enough, sure. Yeah, it's impressive. And I talked about this with Cale Makar the other day. It's true of Alex Ovechkin too. Enjoy it. Watch it and enjoy it, because pretty darn good chance you'll never see a guy score this many goals again.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. And you know what? You look at his first year, and I remember I told you I watched him at World Juniors, and I was like, this guy's an animal. Like, he was an animal. Like, but he loves to score goals. It's always like, he's always loved it. And then, you know what? He loves when his teammates score goals, too. That's one thing I've always noticed about him. He gets all excited. Like, I think scoring goals it's a big part of the game, right? It's what makes you win games. But he just loves it, and you can't hide it. It's like, And then what else? Was he the best partier in the history of the NHL, right? After winning?
Yeah.
He's got to be
in
right
the fountains.
He's got to be there. He's got to be there at right wing. He's first team All-Star for sure at right wing for best partier after the cup. I mean, are you kidding me?
Easily
pretty
on that
crazy.
Front. We'll see. I mean, a couple of records still to go. McKinnon did get a goal tonight. He did get 1 point. So if he gets 1 point in their next game, he will tie Joe Sakic for points, and he will have done it in the exact same amount of games as Joe Sakic did it in an Avs jersey. So
that's crazy.
pretty cool stuff, man. There's pretty cool stuff happening in my lifetime right now, both Avalanche and un-Avalanche related when it comes to hockey. So I'm trying to
World
enjoy
War
it a little bit.
documentary.
I'm
Jamie says
trying not
World
to
War One
overthink.
documentary. I mean, that picture was wrong about the four nations. It was wrong. Like it was just wrong. It's just fun. It just was wrong.
It's fun. It's fun. We're having fun, even when games
Yeah.
like this aren't that fun. Hockey's supposed to be fun. It's worth
No, it's
remembering
all
that.
good. It was fun. It's a great world, right?
Yep, exactly. When I don't know. Avs don't practice tomorrow. It, I don't think they're gonna think about this game too much. I'm not gonna think about this game too much. There is let me try and make a case for why the Avs should maybe up their effort a little bit just beyond them being unhappy with maybe the way they played in tonight's game. When you go take a look at the Avs schedule, you do have some legitimate opponents coming up here. You get Vegas at home on Tuesday, and then you get Vancouver, nah. But then you get LA at the end of the year on Saturday. So if you're looking for games that maybe are a little bit more of a measuring stick for the Avs, those are the ones you look for. Those are the ones you're hoping they maybe bring a playoff atmosphere to, right?
Yeah, and the only good thing about playing LA next week is LA really stinks at home this year. They're terrible.
Just 22-4 or whatever it is. Yes.
Sarcasm. Those guys don't lose at home. You know what I mean? Again,
29-4. Jeez.
It's crazy. Kemper got a shutout tonight. I mean, honestly, like I'd like to tell you, hey, what a great test for the Avalanche before the playoffs. You know, go win one on the road. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what type of game you're gonna get there. I don't know. I'm laughing if you're getting that one from tonight, then it's like, oh, that'd be tough, you know. But then again, we'll see. Maybe for LA it means nothing as well, like right? Because Vegas is still fighting there, and so is
Yeah.
LA and Edmonton. I mean,
The
whatever.
Vegas game on Tuesday should matter to Vegas as they're trying to fend off LA. That LA game at
That's
the
right.
end, things might be decided by then. But the Vegas game at very least should be an interesting. We'll see.
Yep. We'll
I
see.
don't
I
know.
mean, again, you're right. I just don't know who's going to show up for the F. I mean, whatever. I just, again, that's the only thing I'm disappointed in tonight. I understand the 3 and 4 because I'm the one that says it all the time. It's a fact. It's not. It is not an excuse. It's a fact. But I just thought they would have showed up a little bit more, than effort wise. It just looked a little dreadful.
It's
It
definitely
looked dreadful.
disappointing.
Yeah.
No, the game itself is disappointing. You wanted more. Totally fair.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a
we'll
ton else to say
see.
about this game, to be
No,
honest with you.
me neither.
It
I'm
is
not
what it
pissy.
is.
I'm not. No, I'm good.
If it makes you feel better, every team in the Central except for Utah is losing tonight or already lost.
You're gonna have a couple teams in the same position here, and it's the dog days of the last few games of the season. So, right?
Yeah,
it's the dog days instead of dog days of February. It's the dog days of getting through the season.
It's not like the Avs are the only teams experiencing this. The Jets are 6-4 in their last 10. The Stars have been good, but just lost tonight. It's a pretty common occurrence, unless you're the St. Louis Blues. Not a whole lot of winning streaks going on in the West right now.
More power to them, the Blues. I tell you one thing, they are on a heater. They are on a heater. Can't lie. I mean, that's tip your cat. Tip your cat. They work. They work. Yep. They believe. So it's all good.
Power to them. They can be somebody else's problem in the first round, or they can run out of steam and lose in the first round. Also, probably fairly likely, but
yeah.
Either way, I don't know. Any final thoughts here? Anything you think the Avs will do when they get back in town? Is there a reset needed here, or is this just go about your business for Colorado?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much, right? I think it's a day off tomorrow and deal with your family. And why? There's many reasons why. Because playoffs are coming up, and we all know that playoffs are demanding, and the goal is to be gone for 2 months when you think about it, right? Because it requires a lot of time and a time away from the whole family, and meaning you're there at home sometimes, but again, it's a game day. You're not taking the kids to school. You're not picking up the kids at school. You're not playing with the kids. You're taking a nap. You're going to the game. So yeah,
Okay,
looking
cool.
forward
No
to see what they
overtime.
got.
Yeah, we're good. We're just going to wrap it at the hour mark tonight. We appreciate you, chat. This has been the DNVR Avalanche post-game show presented by Bet365. We'll see you Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.